Hello, I'm doing a gallery walk of all of the blogs of my fellow students who are in my digital storytelling class in CU Denver's ILT Master's program. And that's a mouthful. So to get started, I have here Dustin's blog, and here's his digital story critique. And in talking about this piece, I chose this specific post from him because I felt it really fit well with the work he's been doing all semester. And I'm excited that he's been able to find so many digital stories that not only fit with his semester's theme, but are of such high personal interest to him. And it's obvious in his writings that he's passionate about his theme and has learned a lot on the topic of brewing, to be specific, brewing. So I really liked this post in particular. I like that he includes the video right within the post so that I can click it, and then he used the Oler's assessment traits that we've been using all semester. And I really like, there was one line where he said, this is 100% interesting because it's against the conventional wisdom on how to brew. And this is all 100% interesting to me because I know nothing about brewing whatsoever. But I really like his topic, and I like the work that he's done and the pieces he's chosen to create or to critique that relate to brewing. Okay, so moving on to Logan's. I selected this specific post by Logan because not only did he do such a wonderful job with his critique, but he did his critique on a piece that 10 weeks ago I would never have thought of as a digital story. And the creator of this slideshow on National Geographic's website opens the story by writing, "Ready for adventure," right here, "Ready for adventure." And that also kind of conveys like a sense of, even though this is just pictures, a slideshow, he's telling an adventure story. So the slideshow itself does indeed tell its own story, and I've learned this semester that there are so many different ways that digital stories can be told. So thank you for this critique, Logan. I also really like your topic that you've chosen for the semester as well. So then here we have Susan's video assignment. She did a video assignment from the DS-106 assignment bank that really had me chuckling after I viewed it. And it's not that the video is particularly funny, but it's just that after viewing it, I thought she picked out such a perfect pair for this assignment because of the noise and the movements of the mixer. And I can play it. So what she did was, like, her assignment was to mash up the two together. So she basically gave the song, or she gave the mixer its like own theme song kind of. And I feel like they fit so perfectly. Like that song fit perfectly with that mixer. That's what I would picture. So I just thought this was really creative, and I thought that Susan did a really good job. Over here, this is Sarah's blog, and here's where she did a critique on a lychee video, and I was so entranced by the actual video that I've now watched almost every single one created by the maker, and I've even engaged with her on social media. Her name is Obe, and she makes incredibly beautiful and heartwarming recipe videos, and it's Obe's videos that help me refine my own theme for this semester. I also very much appreciated Sarah critiquing another piece that 10 weeks ago I wouldn't have viewed so much as a digital story. And she did, again, she used the assessment traits that we've been using all semester. She just did a great job, and I love that she has the video right in here in the blog. So here we have Jennifer's blog, and I loved this one because it reminds me very similar of what I did for my assignment for the mashup. So she has Iron Man and Forrest Gump in hers, and in mine I can't remember his name, but I did the guy from, oh, what was that called? It was Life of Pi. So I combined Life of Pi and then Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. But I thought that Jennifer did a really good job. I thought that this was really creative. And what an interesting story this would tell if this were a real story. But I really liked this one. So then moving on to Mark. Mark's focal theme for the semester has been adversity, and he's done a phenomenal job with finding and critiquing digital stories pertaining to people dealing with adversity in their lives. And he did a lovely job critiquing this specific story from a Marine who talks about how he's been able to cope with life after a roadside bomb killed all of his team members in Iraq in 2005. So this was a very emotional story that left me in a very contemplative mood, but it really stayed with me. And I thought Mark did just such a lovely job at critiquing it. Of course, pretty much everything about this story was pretty stellar. And over on StoryCorps, which is where he got this, where Mark got the story, like they have a lot of great stories where they've taken audio and then applied these sort of, what do you call this? Animation, yeah, animation, and how you normally associate it with comedy, like Looney Tunes or Simpsons, but they've done a great job of adding these animated videos to these narratives, and I think that Mark did a great job on this, and I think he's done a great job all semester using adversity as his theme. So everyone so far, a lot of people have chosen such incredible themes to work with. So moving on to Kristen's theme. I chose this post because it is on her theme. It was very early in the semester, but it's stayed with me since I read it. So her focal theme is on motherhood, and it's simply beautiful, and the theme is one that could take her down so many different avenues throughout the semester, and I think it has. There's just so much to the subject, and I've admired Kristen's decision to focus on something that means so much to her, but has also caused her so much heartache. And it's not easy to put yourself out there, and I think she's been so brave this semester to explore something so personal to her. So, and I let her know that down there in the comments, but Kristen's done just a phenomenal job, like all of her posts, but I really loved her focal theme post and what she wrote about her theme. Okay, so here we have, here's Darren's, and I really liked Darren's digital response to this particular week's assigned reading because he moved away from simply writing about it and he did something completely different. He used a combination of photography, audio, and then the Powtoons software to create a sort of video audio reflection on the chapter that he read. And my favorite aspect to Darren's work is how he wants to become so much more of a creator of digital stories and not just a consumer. I feel like I've read other things that he's written where he's stated that before. I've been incredibly grateful for the opportunity to both create and consume our work for this semester. So I can see why he's feeling that way, and I think that we've been really lucky with our instructor kind of altering the syllabus and letting us get really creative with how we not only consume digital storytelling but create it as well. And so I really appreciated how Darren did his response to the text in this video. And so it's 3 minutes, so I'd give it a watch if you can. Then moving on to Diane. So for Diane, I can't select just one of her posts because I appreciate everything that she writes in her critiques as well as her reflections. Diane is incredibly passionate, open, and honest in her critiques, as shown here in her response to a chapter from Digital Storytelling. I also like that she is very creative in her reflections, as you can see here. So in this post, she took this image of an eye, and I don't know, I like this graphic that she made, and I like how she reflects upon what she's learned. I just thought it was very creative and such a perfect way to post a reflection for a course like what we're in. So I really liked this a lot. And then here's Alicia. So Alicia did a letter to her 16-year-old self. It was one of the video assignments from the DS-106 assignment banks. And again, I let her know my thoughts in the comments, but this just blew me away. Her letter to her 16-year-old self was absolutely beautiful. It was honest and both heartbreaking and heartwarming, and I love so much that she put herself out there with this assignment actually created such a wonderful digital story of her own, I was extremely impressed. I'm still working up the courage to put myself out there in such a way. I feel like Kristen was very similar. Like Kristen put herself out there with her focal theme, and I feel like this letter to Alicia's 16-year-old self did the same. I was just very, very impressed. And I've been impressed all around with Alicia's ability to really engage with my blog posts, so I kind of wanted to put a little shout out there and say thanks, Alicia, and Kristen as well, for both of you have commented on several of my posts, and I really appreciated it. And then lastly, I wanted to throw myself in there just to have a little of my own self-reflection included in this gallery walk. So here's a digital story critique that I did back in week 6 or 7, I believe. And I found over the weeks, I have found some truly amazing digital stories to critique, but Aube Garose, she's who I talked about when I was with, let's see, the Leakchi video that Sarah did. So Aube created these videos, and she works for, well, she does a lot of jobs, but she creates these videos for PBS, like it's one of her, one of her incomes, and they are beautiful. So they really impressed me. They're not only beautiful and inspiring, but they evoke real emotion in her viewers. And I feel like that's something that any great digital story should do. And I loved critiquing this piece in particular and realizing how much I've learned about digital storytelling as well as myself through the focal theme that I chose this semester. And my focal theme was sort of a self-reflection through food, but it's evolved into much more than that. Like it's evolved into memories, my memories of food from the past, but also like the traditions that I want to create with my daughter and my family for the future. So this whole semester, digital storytelling has taught me a lot about what it is and what it can be and the kind of emotions it should evoke in your viewers and what it should do for the world. And it also taught me a lot about my own self, my own memories, and the things that I want going forward. So anyway, there it is. That's my gallery walk throughout all of the blogs that are by my co-students. I think everyone's doing such a phenomenal job. Like I'm impressed to be in a course with such creative people who have such a wonderful respect for creativity and digital storytelling. So signing off. Thanks so much for listening, watching. Bye-bye.